So today, Dustin Poirier went on the Pat McAfee show and revealed when his final fight will be and who his final fight will be against. We're going to jump into this clip immediately, watch a bit of it, and then we're going to talk about this fight. So, without further ado, let's hear it from Dustin Poirier's mouth who he is fighting.
Yeah. Hopefully we get some runs of saying it a few times before they put me on stage.
Nope, you will get a card.
Well, I did the draft in Vegas 2 or 3 years ago when we drafted Alante Taylor. Me and Cam Jordan drafted Alante Taylor, dude, and he's still crushing it.
Yeah, so you're good luck.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
You are good. Okay, we like that. That's good news for the Saints. And also, you're joining us now, and we are honored to be a part of this, especially with everything you've given and sacrificed for our entertainment over the years inside the Octagon. I think you have a massive announcement to make as well with the city of New Orleans and yourself, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're coming back to New Orleans. The UFC is coming back to New Orleans in July 19th. It's going to be my final fight. I'm going to lay the gloves down in Louisiana where it all started for me. The whole journey started there, and I'm just honored to have the UFC on the same page and the state of Louisiana on the same page to make all this work. I didn't know if it was going to all come together, but it did. July 19th, me and Max Holloway are going to fight 5 rounds, main event, pay-per-view for his current BMF title.
So, July 19th, Max versus Dustin for the BMF belt. Okay, now, regardless of your opinion on the BMF belt, you love it, you hate it. It is an accomplishment. What the BMF belt really is basically the fan favorite fighter. I look at it kind of like the Intercontinental Champion WWE. You have your real champion or your world heavyweight champion, and then you have the Intercontinental Champion, which is mainly a fan favorite belt. Whatever wrestler a fighter is really behind, they'll compete for that belt, and they'll basically be. It's called a mid card title. But I want to go through these guys' career. Well, actually, let's see. Does Dustin say anything? I'll share.
And you know,
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Max is a legend. I said legends only. There's not a better guy I can think to fight in my retirement fight. I was his first fight in the UFC back in 2012, and he's going to be my last fight in the UFC. So it's an honor. He's a legend, former champion, undisputed, current BMF champion. So we're going to put on another war.
Well, let me tell you this. Thank you for your service.
That is the other part I nearly missed. Dustin was Max's first fight. And, why? Okay, hold up here. I want to go through why this makes sense now. I'll leave the full interview in the description down below. But I gotta make my own video. I gotta, not get copyrighted or anything by ESPN. But when you look at Poirier's career, lost to Israel Makachev in a 5-round fight to a Darce. Israel Makachev is the greatest lightweight of all time. I have him over Khabib simply because of the competition that he is facing, and now he is finishing these guys. He KO'd Benoit Saint-Denis in a fight that many people believed was Dustin Poirier's way out the top of the division, but he shocked everyone, knocked out BSD in the second round. He had the head kick against Justin Gaethje, which caused the worry for the UFC. They're 1-1. Both of them were at the top of lightweight for the past, I would say, 8 years or something like that. Then you have the Chandler fight. A lot of bad blood going into the Chandler fight. But he was able to find the submission in the third round. Got submitted by Oliveira in his second attempt at the belt. But again, Oliveira had one of the greatest runs we've ever seen in the UFC. Oliveira at that point was incredible. And Dustin Poirier nearly finished Oliveira in that fight. Then you had the two Conor fights. Conor broke his ankle in the first round. But Dustin Poirier was beating the shit out of him for the entire round. And we know that Connor's best rounds are round 1 and 2. In the second fight, Dustin Poirier had a better first round, and he found the TKO in the second round. Beat Dan Hooker, who was a top 5 contender. The loss to Khabib, again, Khabib retired undefeated. I mean, Islam are the two best lightweights of all time. Then you had the second Max fight. The big topic of this video for the interim belt. Really good fight. But Max Holloway moved up the lightweight on short notice. This wasn't Max Holloway actually properly at lightweight. And that's what makes this fight interesting. Then, Eddie Alvarez, Gaethje, Jim Miller. We know Dustin Poirier has beaten the who's who of everybody. But we go over to Max Holloway, who I have Max Holloway in my top 15 fighters of all time. I genuinely think Max Holloway is one of the greatest fighters to ever do it. You look at him, you have the knockout loss to Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria, again, knocked out Volk. Now he's chasing Islam, wants to get the lightweight belt. I think Max Holloway would love to get back to that fight and potentially get that one back. Then you had the fight with Justin Gaethje. He looked incredible in that fight, and then he landed that over right hand right at the last second, knocking out Gaethje, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, knockouts of all time. Knocked out Korean Zombie, beat Arnold Allen. He lost the third Volk fight. That one was more clearly Volk, I feel. Volk won the third fight. But before that, he beat Yair, beat Calvin Kattar. And then the first two fights, these were razor close fights. And this honestly was two of the greatest featherweights, if not two of the greatest featherweights of all time, going at it in their prime. They were really close, man. But Volkanovski found a way to win all three fights. And Volk Volk is the greatest featherweight of all time. After beating Diego Lopez, winning the belt back, maybe if he would have taken his time with Topuria, he could have beaten Topuria. Um, in my eyes, Volk is the GOAT. But he lost goes to beat Frankie Edgar by unanimous decision 2019. Uh, then you got to the interim title fight against this Poirier again. A really, really good fight. Ortega he beat. Ortega being a top featherweight of his era. Jose Aldo, one of the greatest of all time, went undefeated for 10 years. Knocked him out uh, twice, back to back. Again, after Connor did it, but still very impressive. Pettis, Oliveira, the first Oliveira fight, Oliveira got injured. Swanson, Andre Fili, like lost to Connor very early on in his career, and then you get to Poirier's first fight, being against Dustin Poirier in the UFC, where he got submitted in the first round by a triangle armbar, but that was the only finished loss that he had up until Ilia Topuria. These guys are like these guys are like the reason I love this sport so much, because you never know how your career's gonna pan out, and even if you're not a champion, maybe you win it, maybe you defend it once, maybe you don't even defend it. When you're a top 5 guy in your division, when you are the top 2 guy in your division for years, it's still an achievement that only very, very few can have. And I feel like you look at it from the point of Max Holloway. Max Holloway wants to have a few fights at lightweight. He beat Gaethje. If he can add on Poirier, if it lays down two, he's on a 2-fight win streak at lightweight. He's right out there for the belt. For Dustin Poirier, though, for his last fight, what other fights really are going to add to the legacy of Dustin Poirier? Does the third fight with Gaethje really add to the legacy? Because I don't really feel like in a third fight right now, we're going to figure out who really is the best. I feel like the trilogy would have been better done a few years ago. Dan Hooker, meh. They were throwing around Elias Poirier. It would have been a good fight, but that's kind of feeding Poirier to the wolves in his last fight. It all comes back to Max, a former champion, an all-time great. If Poirier could shut out a trilogy, it would hurt me as a Max fan as well. Max would have lost two trilogies to two fighters. But again, these are two of the best fighters we've ever seen. But it's going to be something. I think this will be a really good fight, and you know these are two guys that kind of pioneered a lot of the fans you see today. A lot of people came in maybe after the Conor era, during the Conor era. Max was the face. Max was a champion. Dustin Poirier started Conor Mania. That's when Mystic Mac came to be a thing. And what the hell was that word? And like I can't even put it into words, man. You know, both of them are fathers. Both of them have built a life for their family in this sport, a very cutthroat sport. Not a lot of people make it in MMA, man. And then having them go out that one last time. Poirier, I guarantee you they are going to pay him a bag to fight this fight. But I agree with Poirier, man. I agree with what this does to his legacy if he wins. The only other fight for Max Holloway I saw was Oliveira. I really hope we do get to see the Oliveira rematch. We can properly see how that fight could go down, as long as it's cursed. Um, but I'm excited, man. We finally have some fights on the go. Like Sean versus Marab 2 got announced. I think, whatever. Marab beats him his way. Juliano Pena, Kayla Harrison. That's a good fight. That's the fight we want to see. Max versus Dustin. Now I like it. Now we're just gonna see who the fuck is going to main event international fight. We know that Poirier is in camp, so all signs are kind of leading to him or Makachev. Those are the only two, honestly. But let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about this announcement from Dustin Poirier? What do you think about the trilogy with him? And what do you think a win does for Dustin? And what does a win do for Max in this situation? I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. Thanks for watching. Later.